The Shadowmane is born in the real world. From the moment they're born, their father wasn't there. From now until the end of the Shadowmane's natural lifespan, his father will not be there. Some believe this is part of what makes a Shadowmane resort to using Shadow in Deepwoken. The lack of a father figure will often result in them being very edgy and thinking darkness is cool and edgy. They sit in class at school acting quiet and mysterious, randomly chuckling to themselves, and everyone thinks they're super cool. Everyone thinks they have autism. The soon-to-be Shadowmane is a huge edgelord from the very moment he touches Deepwoken. If they started the game when it came out, they likely didn't know Shadow existed at the time and go attunementless, because they want to be like Baki or some other anime character who beats the shit out of people, like Toto from Jujutsu Kaisen. I don't know what these references are, they're just in my script. Alternatively, they started late and already know Shadow exists, and that's currently their #1 goal in progression. The future Shadow player has finally found out Shadow exists, and in order to fuel his inner edgelord, he realizes he must now find out how to unlock it and get it as soon as possible. This more than anything will fuel the Shadow player's drive to play Deepwoken, as he now plans to farm Sharkos for 5 Umbral Obsidian that's required to unlock Shadow. Alternatively, they ask for it, because it's not that hard to get or find and is useless to most high-level players at this point outside of crafting armors. At stage 3, the now Shadow player has just unlocked Shadow for his very first time. He is now able to reign free, being a huge edgelord and talking down to people before getting wiped multiple times, because he thinks he's super cool and can talk shit without having the skill to back it up, because people are just gonna be afraid of him or something because his build is really dark and has a cool coat. I don't know. At stage 4, many of these Shadow players will start experimenting with different kinds of edgy builds. Lots of them will seem to go hybrid lightning because it's edgy and cool, and they're like Killua with his god speed. I don't know the anime references I'm making because I don't watch anime, but the Shadow users watching this definitely do. Regardless, Shadow users will also begin to experiment with stuff like Crypt Blades and Contractor until they find something that they inevitably like. They're also likely to start doing things like, you know, Big Shadow Gun, or Big Shadow Meteors, or Big Shadow Roar. Well, when this was possible at that time. At this stage, after the Shadow user has experimented, he begins to start creating builds that are not only edgy, but also actually somewhat fun. Their edge starts to dull as they stop acting edgy because of something called fun that they've never experienced while playing a video game before. This is because they usually rage at video games a lot. But for now, they start acting nicer and just enjoy playing the game for a while. Until stage 6. The Shadowmane, after getting ganked a few times, begins to feel angry. Entering stage 6, other Shadow users and metamancers begin to bully him, and because he focused on making his build fun instead of competitively viable by min-maxing every stat he could, he now struggles in ganks. This leads to him beginning to hate metamancers until he eventually becomes one. After getting tired of the ganks, the Shadow user has begun metamancing. This manifests itself in Shadow builds, but many Shadow players will begin to start going non-Shadow builds, even if they still like Shadow. Alternatively, they are very likely to go Contractor, Eclipse Kick, Shadow Gun, 560 HP builds with super high stat armor kits, depending on what they want at any given moment. Many Shadow players will never recover from this stage and will stay metamancers until the end of their natural lifespan. And some of them even start making gank videos. It's really bad. And they use a lot of Pop Smoke music. The Shadow player has now realized they don't need to metamance. They don't need Eclipse Kick, Contractor, or Shadebringer. They can enjoy the game and just have fun on their own builds. The Shadow player has stopped metamancing because they realize how boring it is to only use 1 in 1,000 of the same build, and maybe just playing a unique build to have fun can be viable. Also, many Shadow users never actually reach this stage. Many of them stuck on the last stage of metamancing, and it's very sad. the Shadow player's anger has dissipated, and he has found peace in simply playing Deepwoken and enjoying it as is. Many of them can even be spotted in the wild Walmart, looking for their father who was supposed to get the milk ages ago. It is quite sad, but just know, whenever you see a fatherless child out in public who isn't playing Deepwoken, remember, he could be playing Deepwoken instead, so his life is much better. This is stage 11, the hidden stage. Many people would consider this stage the hardest stage of all. In order to reach the stage 11, the Shadow player must do the unthinkable, the impossible. Find their father. As every Shadow main is fatherless from birth, it may be hard, but some of you can do it. If you try hard enough and quit Deepwoken, he may come back with the milk he forgot about, and he may come to be the father that you always needed. And then, you won't have to play Shadow anymore, because you'll have a father figure. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, inspired by Himanji Neo, of course, and as always, it's satire, so please don't cry about it in the comments because I said you're fatherless for playing Shadow. It's a joke. You know, a joke, a funny joke? Yeah, it's one of those. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video as a whole, and if you have ideas for the next one I should do, leave a comment, and I'll probably do it. And then I'll include your comment at the end or the beginning of the next video. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to subscribe, join my Discord in the description, comment section down below. Follow me on Twitter, Twitch. I might start streaming on Twitch as well as YouTube, duo streaming, and all that. Have a good day, and goodbye.
Imagine one day you're sitting in Paris, you're sitting there having a fucking coffee, and terrorists go through the AKs, and the person next to you has their brains blown out. You're gonna stand there and go, waiting to die like a motherfucker. I'm gonna be like, bang, oh, I've seen that before. Okay, boom, boom, duck and dive in, take one terrorist out, next get the AK, go Rambo, take out all of fucking Pakistan with the Jeep. I don't play games.
But y'all rope.
Still got it.
Oh yeah, one's coming behind you.
Oh my god, man, am I stupid?
Do you have enough room in your ult first, but like, can you get reach there?
Open up the sky.
Less.
Molly. Gotcha.
Go to lineups now.
How did you hit that?
What?
You got a half.
So, oh, he got it half, probably. He got it half or something, bro. What? How?
Or are you just missing?